We're back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Raging Loop. Super excited. Last episode was so much fun. Wait, let me get back to full screen here. Um, I can't believe I called it. I'm still so happy about that. Like, I was fairly sure it was Yasunada, but it started to worry me when everyone was like, "Oh, it's probably Yasunada," and I'm like, "Oh, did I fuck up?" But I was right on both accounts. It was Yasunada and Tai revealed as werewolves, and they were like, "Werewolves are actually the good guys." And we tried to escape, and we all died. And like Jimmy turned into like a rotting corpse or something. It's pretty metal. Anyway, Raging Loop Whirls and Claws. Is that the end? Oh, we got a key. 04. By the same number on the scenario chart. Sink into Nirvana. We don't even have scenario. Wait, no. Okay, that's where we get the key, right? Okay. Let me cook. Think we got a sheep. Sheep tip coming up. Ending number 1. Watch in corner, of course. Hello, Mako. It was a really good ending, honestly.
最初のメインルート、読みはこれで終了だ。達成感とラブラブな空気に存分に浸るがいいぜ。無理かよ。せっか
That's
く
kind
テ
of
ンション上げ
depressing,
てやっ
man.
たのによ。まあ無理もねえか。とんでもねえ鬱な結末だったもんな。が、気合い入れてくれ。より良い結末をお望みなら力になるぜ。
Okay. Sheep. What you got for
今
me?
回のバトルじゃないエンド1。題して、
Fun in the marshes with Shioni. I don't think that's what it was called.
ぶっちゃけ正解だからな。アドバイスはね。
Yeah, there's just nothing we can do. We just need to be in the feast now.
よりマシな結末を探すなら。
Surprising we only got one key from that when we got so much information with the werewolves. Yeah.
今回手に入ったキー4を握りしめ、適切な場所に向かうんだ。
Because we know who the werewolves are. Way back. Oh, it's that part. I always thought that was just gonna be another ending where you just don't go to the village this time.
あそこに最初に並んでた鍵付き選択肢がようやくこれで開く。
Infiltration.
より混迷を極める事件に肉薄し、今回の後悔をもう味わわないよう全力を尽くしてやってくれよ、大将。
Exciting.
つうわけで今回はここまで。次も元気に死んでこい。
Thank you, Mato. I'm still gonna call the sheep Mato until I'm proven wrong, because we have a good track record right now. I'm pushing my luck.
そういう夢だったってわけだ。次はもっと
Before we head into the next start, though, I do want to do that one option we skipped of escaping early, which will probably lead to another dead end, but it might get us a key. This is just restarting, right? Yeah. Okay. Chart me. And this leads to the another general route. I think the option we missed was... Oh, we need key 20. That's the outhouse. Is it? Oh, we don't have that. Wait, where does it say our keys? They said I had a key list. Oh, there it is. We have 02 and 04. God, I hate my scroll key. Is there 20 keys? Is that literally... Yeah, it's the last key. Intriguing. I think it's in dense mist, though. Oh, this is the outhouse. Holy. Look at all the keys for that. Follow the stream. Resist the urge. Okay, this is where we died. And we got that. Okay, it's in Yomi then? Guess it's in Yomi. Leave Yasumisu. Yeah, this is the one we missed a little. That's it though, right? We did everything else that we could do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's do that. We're probably gonna die, but maybe not. I thought we were for sure gonna die, but now that I think about it, the only reason we died at the end of this ending is because we had like a piece of Chiemi, right? Otherwise, since we're not part of the game, they might actually just let us leave. Which could be pretty based. Spectre needs help, and everyone here believed they can escape this place due to supernatural reasons. I'm leaving, bro. Peace. I forgot the exact context to this, but I'm out of here. It's probably best to just leave before I got too deep in this and while it was still bright out. Being left out of the feast hardly guaranteed my safety. I couldn't expect anyone to lead me out, but dropping dead in the middle of nowhere seemed better than getting eaten alive here. After making my decision, I wrapped up my conversation with Chiemi and we returned to our room. Okay, this is right after the first feast, and we talked about it with Chiemi at the hanging tree, I think. I mean, we can just find it out pretty easily if I look at the chart, actually. Lunch. Q&A session. After the feast. Yeah. After the first feast. Okay. Good to know. She gave me some cup ramen, and it looked like she wouldn't tell me why she hadn't let me eat the dining house food until I asked. She thinks it was because of the food that you become a true Yasumizu person, which actually might hold weight now that I think about it, because they yoinked Meiko at the ending too, and they didn't. And again, it was implied they only killed Haruaki because he had a piece of Chiemi, but Meiko wasn't from the village, so maybe it is the food. Maybe she is low-key saving us. It's kind of crazy. I didn't want to go any deeper into this than I already was, so I didn't ask. During lunch, Chiemi went to the bathroom. That was my chance. I took out a notepad, quickly wrote, "Sorry, I'm leaving," and took my stuff and left the room. Based. We're out of here, dude. Sorry, Chiemi. Using the mist to my advantage, I passed the inhabitants and headed to the upper parts of the settlement. Alright, I got to the entrance to the mountain path. We shouldn't get hit by the corruption, I think. But I don't know. The road was unpaved and sided by two giant boulders reminiscent of a torii without a top. A torii is the little wooden shrine thing that's like, it's kind of like a square. It's two pillars and a little top plain thing that are next to shrines or temples. I could see why everyone was afraid to go beyond this point. The human mountain forest looked both gloomy and scary, but walking further seemed far less risky than staying in the settlement. I walked ahead. I'm out of here, dude. And soon had to stop. The road was ruined. A car would have been useless here, so this is why Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san couldn't leave yesterday and had to spend the night in the van. So this is pre-Haru-chan trying to escape. So I wonder if this is still the same road that's like full of debris. However, I wasn't exactly heavy, so getting past this was easy. I had no idea why obstacles like this were enough to hold back video game characters. You can easily walk around it. Holy shit. It's like those like mazes in JRPGs where it's like a hedge maze and you have to like unlock a door, but it's like, bro, just climb over the bush, man. They're just bushes. Though they could have it worse. There was that one game where there was both an obstacle and an impassable cliff-like mist. I don't know what that is. When I think of mist in video game, maybe, what's it called? Silent Hill? Anyway, I kept on walking. Most of the ground here was covered in dead leaves, ferns, and moss, making it really slippery. I supported myself by holding on to nearby saplings, but I ended up breaking a few branches. This mountain seemed completely untouched. Fujiyoshi's people clearly didn't do any forestry. I came across a very steep slope. Well, I guess we could also just die by not being careful. It is kind of hard. I probably wouldn't risk this. I mean, maybe I would if I'm scared for my life, but not really athletic. And also, like, I mean, I do hiking with people because I do have athletic friends, and I'm usually just dying normally without having to worry about misstepping because I can't see anything because of dense mist. So I feel like this is going to be pretty hard. I'd come this far avoiding slopes and following the road, but before I knew it, I lost sight of the road. It wasn't all that smart, but I decided to keep going up. Logic told me that I'd be closer to Kami Fujiyoshi the higher I got, which made sense, because they're at the top of the mountain, right? Seriously, what was up with this mist? I couldn't see anything ahead of or behind me. I felt like I was swimming through rice water, or perhaps milk jelly. It seemed like it was heavier than air and too dense to breathe in. I felt it would congeal around me the moment I stopped moving. What was I thinking? This was reality, and this was just a mist. Surely. I mean, we know at least supernatural shit's happening, obviously. You can kind of like deny it for a bit, but like by the ending, by the first real ending, it's pretty obvious. I walked up the desolate slope and kept walking. I had to constantly remind myself that this was just a mist and this was nothing but reality. I had no idea what happened in the end. Wait, I died? That's it? Huh, I guess you don't get, I guess we're not safe, man. Why did it, I don't know. Oh well. Watch hint corner. No keys from that either. I guess we didn't, I mean, information, the mist is dangerous. Alright, let's visit Meiko. This is Meiko after she smokes a billion cigarettes in the future. After ascending to godhood.
早速ヒント言っとくか。ちゃっちゃと済ませて次に行ってもらわなきゃだしな。
Okay. What's your
今
hint?
回のバッドエンド4、題して森で謎師についてだが、どうやら掟の通り、安水の外には出られねえみたいだ。
I guess maybe the reason we were allowed to leave was because the game was... But it wasn't over. But it was kind of over? I don't know.
その理由はよくわからねえが、やっぱりこの手の解決は一度は試してみねえと納得できねえって口かい？対象。
Funnily enough, I did believe it. That's why we didn't do it until we reached the first ending.
臭いし春明のやつは幸か不幸か死んでもやり直しが効くんだ。納得するまで。
all our protagonists, man. Takaru from Love, Rika from Higurashi. I'm a loop enjoyer. Looper enjoyer. Like, I enjoy these hint corners, but most of the hints are just gonna be choose the other option, idiot. It's not much of a hint. Thank you, Meiko. At least if there's no CG in this one, we can finally use this CG. Don't count sheeps on me, I'm still awake. Alright, so let's start the brand new route. He said it was... Is there even anything in the intro? No, it's the tutorial. Alright, start. 4. I'm pretty sure this is just after the gas station. Oh, and this is our... It's like, oh... We're having I'm having a burst of memories, and I think since we didn't have the tea, it was just like, oh, never mind. It didn't come to me. But now we remembered the whole arc, man. Honestly, with this, I'm surprised he's kind of like, because this route, the sheep spoiled it. It's called infiltration, so we're still going into the village. But with this knowledge, I just fucking not know, man. I mean, unless he really likes Chiemi. Like, I get it. She's cute, but is it worth playing the death game? Just get me out of here. Suddenly, a rush of memories fitted into my mind. Yeah, see, forget it. But we remember, dude. We got the keys to the castle. Right, how did I forget? I'd already experienced this looping phenomenon or whatever. Hold on, looping? What the hell? There's no way something like that it could. But if it wasn't it, what else could explain this? I also like how like visual novels are like the best way you can really do a looping story. I feel like it's like one of the few things that doesn't translate well into novels. But like because visual novels inherently have roots, which isn't looping exactly, but it kind of is looping. Like in a way. Like just take like Fate Stay Night with its 3 roots that follow like the same main plotline but different shit happens. It's kind of like looping in a sense because you're just redoing the story but like different shit happens. So just since it's like inherently there is loopingness, that's not even a word, in visual novels, actual looping stories fit very well. So I kind of like it. Anyways, if that wasn't it, what else could explain this? What else could someone who died once, be alive right now? You died more than once, buddy. I had clear memories of getting caught up in some strange incident at Yasumizu and, shit, I can't remember how it ended. It was like this the last time too. My memories were all fragmented. Could be like in... Actually, I guess it probably wouldn't be the same as why the Looper and Higurashi didn't remember their death. That was because... I mean, I probably shouldn't say it, so I won't. But I doubt the same scenario would happen here, actually. But I did remember that I went to Yasumizu, met the people there, and died. Had I come back here when... or because I died? That was a ridiculous idea, but the pain and fear I felt back then was just so vivid and fresh in my mind. If this was Muv-Luv, we would call you a causality conductor. I think that's the name. That I couldn't simply dismiss it as just a dream or illusion. There's no point in lying to myself. I was here having experienced something that made sure I died. It was an incomplete memory from the future. I had no idea why I had it, but I definitely did. I had to come to terms with it first and foremost. The gas tank wasn't empty, but my phone couldn't find a signal and was running out of battery, and my throat was a bit dry, exactly like last time. Hey, good thing about this route is we shouldn't crash our motorcycle then. So we'll have a working motorcycle, which, how much does that change? I don't know, but if we're trying to leave Yasumizu, let's just see the wolves try to catch me. Catch me doing wheelies, motherfucker. That meant that I was about to arrive at... Don't crash. Oh no, this is the market. I thought the memory thing was after the market. Knew it. I really didn't want to meet that employee again, but from what I had experienced, she was the only one I'd met before going to Fujiyoshi, so avoiding her probably wasn't a great idea. Maybe we can like ask her different questions. Does she... She does kind of look like a werewolf, but it wouldn't really make sense if she, I mean, I don't know. We'll just see. Her attitude was shit, but at least she always did what I asked. Hey. You see, this is like first part. It made me kind of be like, to Haruki. He kind of seems like an asshole. He grew on me though, definitely. Though I really didn't want to drive down that unpaved road again. I mean, this is like, I don't know. I feel like they do werewolves like this a lot. Like dreads, darker skin. Not always, but it's a common design. Once again, she greeted her customer in a borderline insane way. It actually made me kind of relieved, and I wanted to believe that was just some trick of the mind. Pointy ears. It was just like before. Tura was just an annoying late-night customer. Oh well, I just buy what I wanted. We don't even need to buy the map now.
くださいな。
あ？どんだけ買う気なんだよ。
We're getting food rations, so we don't have to bum off Chiemi, and we'll just have extra food. No reason. Yasumizu was just desperately poor, and it had me worried. What was her problem? I was the customer. With this much stuff, she had to use the register. Still grumbling, she started scanning the barcodes. Once she was done, I paid and asked,
近場の人里を目指したいんですけど、地図を見せてもらえませんか？
Are we still buying the map though?
あ？地図なんざねえよ。
そこをなんとか。
Or maybe just doesn't remember the exact way, which is fair.
待ってろ。
She went through the staff door.
あったわ。
I knew it.
これがこの店。で、十字路を北へ行け。
ふむふむ。
I wonder if she believes in the legend though.
しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっからそこを右折してあとは直線。
地図には森しか見えませんが。
I knew that there wasn't even a paved road there. Why'd she recommend the road anyway? If I'd crashed and died, it'd be a homicide by Netherlands.
書かれてねえだけで集落があんだよ。
That wasn't a lie. It wasn't weird for Yasumizu to not be on the map. It was nearly an abandoned settlement in the middle of nowhere. There's like 10 people living there. Why did she know about it? Did she live in Kami Fujiyoshi or something?
ちょっとバイクじゃきつそうですね。そっちのか藤吉村には？
くっそ面倒な峠道で2時間かかんぞ。
Why? It is kind of weird she's making us go to Yasumizu. It's kind of sketch.
一応メモっといていいですか？
Is bro actually just leaving? I would, honestly. If they give me the option, just don't bring me to Yasumizu. I'm sorry, Chemi. It's not worth it.
好きにしろよ。
隣の町は
山2つ向こ
Man, I couldn't make any sense of the local distance measurements.
う。ここいらを深夜に無茶すんのは進めねえぜ。
Oh, actual consideration? Though it's hard to be grateful, she was the one who pointed me in the direction of that shitty road in the first place.
引き返すのも勇気ってやつじゃねえの。
Turning back, huh?
まあ考えますよ。どうも。
毎度。
Or whatever.
そうだ。この辺でローカルな飲み物とかってないです？
Ooh.
陳列棚には特にはなさそうでしたけど。
いや
That's fun.
そこにねえもんはねえって。
Well, guess not.
もしかしたらバックヤードにあるかもしれないなと思って。
あるわけねえだろ。
まあまあ一応見るだけでも。
Damn, he's playing.
待ってろ。
So pushy, man. I don't know. I think if it was like the middle of the night and someone told me to like look through their stock for something special, I'd probably be like, ah, man. Just get your fucking green tea, bro. Seriously. She brought me a 500cc bottle with black liquid inside. That sounds disgusting, though I would try it. The label looked written by hand and said Wild Plant Cola. It's not as it's safe. It's kind of, maybe it's a little too sketchy with a handwritten label. Expected nothing and got something huge. This place was amazing.
すみません。荷物だいぶ多くなっちゃったんで、荷台にくくるゴムロープみたいなのないですか？
A rubber rope. Yeah, I guess it would be hard to carry stuff on a motorcycle.
ここはコンビニだぞ。
見てくれるだけでいいんで。
待ってろ。あったわ。
Bro, they have everything. What the heck? Why not just put it out in front? Seriously?
せっかくなんで このメモにあるその他ちょっとしたものたちを一通り見てきてもらえないですか？
Hey, since you have everything, might as well do my full shopping here. Honestly, got like some spare parts for the motorcycle, if in case we break it. Maybe a gun. A gun would be nice.
いい加減にしろよ、てめえ殺すぞ。
ついに殺すって言った？一応で構いませんから。
He's playing.
待ってろ。
あざーす。
全部あったわ。
That's crazy.
なんなんだこのコンビニ。
It's a mystical place. They got everything. I felt like she was about to kill me, but I successfully came out with pretty much all I needed. Okay, we got some new tech on us. That's good. Then I just made a run for it. I opened the weird wild plant cola. Looking up at the noisy light trap above, I took a sip. It was cool, intense, and had a strange grassy flavor, but it wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, I'm not really a grassy flavor type guy, and that's not even a joke. I've had grass stuff, like grass jelly. That's like an Asian thing. Shit's ass. Shit is ass. In my opinion. It expected something totally gross, but it was actually a legit drink. Slightly disappointed, I looked at the ingredients. Cold cola and plant extract. Hold on, cola is an ingredient? Did they just buy cola and mix it in? That's funny. And plant extract could be anything from fruits to poisonous plants. If it's a handwritten label, like what do you expect? They're not gonna put all the ingredients in it. They're just doing the bare minimum so they can sell it. What the hell? Was this even safe to drink? Well, at least it tasted good. So like every modern drink, is it safe to drink? It's not healthy for you, but tastes good. It's probably smart to just turn around and drive away. True. Entering Fujiyoshi means death, turn back. Perhaps that was what the loops were trying to tell me? Maybe I have to listen. Not Fujiyoshi, though. There's nothing wrong with going to the other city, right? I think. It's just Yasumizu. But was it really that easy? And no real grounds for this, but if the cause of this strange phenomenon was somewhere in the village, perhaps I couldn't break out of the loop until I solved the mystery behind it. That is interesting. I mean, it's probably true. We are looping because of the event in the village. Like, just using Mavlov logic. Something caused us to loop, and to stop the loops, you have to destroy it. Maybe not destroy it for this one, but... So yeah, maybe we can't just leave. But might as well try, right? If we know we're down a loop, we don't really got much to lose. Obviously, it's still scary dying, and it could be painful, so it's easier said than done. What would happen if I left then? Would I go on and live out the rest of my days only to die and come back here? Would I return to youth after years of being old? That part didn't sound half bad actually, but was it really something I could just accept so easily? This was just speculation. But what if I actually hadn't moved an inch from that mountain pass? Was everything from then, now, and until death just an ante-mortem fever dream, and dying again would just bring me back there? Well, if it's just a fever dream, then it doesn't really matter what you do. So you might as well not think about that. If that was how it was, everything I do with my life from this point onward would be meaningless. Maybe I should really move on only after taking care of whatever was binding me. Also, how could I leave something so strange and natural and incomprehensible and just return to the city? I mean, personally, I think it's pretty easy because it's also dangerous, but I'm also kind of a coward. Oh! 3 options. Turn back, pass Fujiyoshi, enter Fujiyoshi through the normal route. Okay, when they say Fujiyoshi, they're not... Like, what are they talking about? And why I know they said turn back, but I also didn't really understand what they were saying. Let's go all the way back. Uh, fuck. It doesn't. Why is the background so short? Turn back. Well, we're gonna do all the options eventually. Pass by Fujiyoshi. Enter Fujiyoshi through the normal route. I believe Fujiyoshi is... Oh, I'm so annoyed. Because I love options, but I don't understand. I know Kama Fujiyoshi is what it's called. I'm just gonna think Fujiyoshi's the other city. So let's go to Fujiyoshi. Turning back would just mean going home. As I finished my drink, I made my decision. I'd return there. Okay, Fujiyoshi's Yasumizu. No, it's not. I guess it's just the mountain. Okay, well, I guess we're not we're not doing the side options for now. That's alright. I'd faced that tragedy and I didn't want to do this. But you know what? It's definitely like the right option, so we'll just leave those for later. There might be some keys there. So one was just going back the way we came and the other was just passing the whole mountain. I'd faced that tragedy that we're going in, dude. Chiemi's just too hot for us to leave to die. I gotta save Meito. And honestly, save Nosato. He's kind of the homie. Of course, I was curious about this looping phenomenon, but I did recall what I thought during my final moments. It was something like, if only I had handled this better. Oh yeah, we're going into the feast, brother. And for better or worse, this weird looping phenomenon had given me a chance to just do that. If I went about it all a bit better, perhaps I could get a better ending. It's fair logic. We can save them too. We can warn them to properly prepare so they don't get hit by the corruption. And she's hot. I forgot how hot she is. Misato Mamiya and Yudai Hashimoto. Save them all, dude. The delinquent guy. I remember liking him. His own brother killed him. That's crazy. Kanzo Matsushima, who also might be the spider. Yoshitsuru Oribe Tatumi Muro. Old man who cried wolf, Chikamochi Kamoshida. He had a smile on his face, right? Because Yasunada. Or I guess Yasunada probably told him he was the wolf. And since he only cares about Yasunada and Haru, he's like, alright, we'll just kill myself and the old man and call it a day. Rikako. A saver for Nosato. Actually, Rikako is based. She told Yasunada at first. Besides me, obviously, so. Kaori Oribe, my boy Nosato Meito, the sheep. Gotta save Meito, man. Nah, dude, nah. Not these guys. Get them out of here. We're lynching them, bro. Hell, even Yasunada Oribe, Tai Yamawaki, and Haru Matsushima were just victims of some strange superstition. Nah, bro. I bet like one of the endings gonna be actually beating the werewolves, and there's probably like another ending where you don't kill anyone. I gotta imagine. Come on, surely there's a good ending. But I, Haruki Fusashi, could not delude myself. I was no hero, I had no powers. Well, we literally do have some time looping powers. No convictions. I was just a dilettante. My only motivation here was a sense of perfectionism. I was annoyed at how many mistakes I made the first time around. Plus there was a certain attraction I felt toward the unknown. It was an urge foundational to my being. Come on, bro, don't tell yourself you're not also just doing this for Chiemi. Doing it for future GF. And I'd be risking my life on its behalf. I wasn't about to pretend I was acting for the sake of others here. Although, Chiemi Serizawa, there we go. Though she hated her childhood home, it remained part of who she was, and I wanted to keep that from being tarnished with blood. That motive was perverse, forceful, selfish, lustful, and filthy. And I couldn't let myself forget any of that. You know what I just thought? Maybe our looping powers is actually part of the guardian powers, and they just don't know about the looper. I don't know what animal that would be. Fucking Ouroboros or something. I remembered the names of those I'd meet, and what I had to do. We're in. We're going re-entry, baby. Gotta imagine that's the main route, but you never know. I turned the key, opened the throttle, and pushed the signal to the left and connected the clutch. Away I went, starting with a right turn.
しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっからそこを右折してあとは直線。
Okay. I quickly came across it. I could clearly remember this overpass. The large boulder wasn't new to me either, but I wouldn't take that route this time. I just kept on driving, not lowering my speed for a moment. Full speed ahead. Don't crash this time, though. Gotta be careful. I drove on the winding mountain path. Strangely enough, my fatigue, though present, wasn't too bad. It's the fucking cola, dude. And my head was perfectly clear. We got the boost. If it is mixed with real cola, it does have some caffeine in it, so... I knew which route to take without even looking at my copy of the map. Or maybe I'd driven through it before. Perhaps this wasn't the first choice I made, but one of many. Okay, I mean, there's different type of loopers. That would be a Takaru looper, who probably died a bunch of times but just didn't remember, except for the first loop. So we could be the same. But not really. I mean, I don't think they'll get too meta about the looping. Until the end where maybe they explain how or why it's happening. So it's probably not the same as Muv-Luv. By the way, I sort of just stopped saying spoilers to other games, Aiden. I'm sorry. Definitely shouldn't be. I couldn't be sure, and since my memories were so incomplete, nothing was certain. Still, they'd be an asset in the fight ahead. I wasn't going into this unarmed. I could no longer see the moon. If those memories held true, the rain would begin soon. Sheep?
ここまでよ。
What the heck? Mako?
あれだ。大将、前に動画配信可能範囲のお知らせ機能をオンにしただろ
Oh, it's the limit. It's okay. I mean, I already checked. Other people played through the whole game. And, someone commented saying it's fine. So, I'm sorry about your intellectual property, alright? I don't think I'm doing that much damage. It's not like the series gets a lot of views anyways.
今のはそれだ。つまり、動画配信が可能なのは、このチャプターまでだ。
Still kind of scared, man. It's threatening, hitting me with the red text of truth from Umineko.
正確にはこの後、選択肢が出るまでは大丈夫だから、ぼちぼち挨拶やら何やらの準備をしといてくれ。
Thanks for the reminder, Mako. Ignored. I drove in darkness, but I could still make out a sign above me. The road wasn't wide, but I decelerated and somehow managed a U-turn. There was no other cars, so no one would complain. I returned and looked at the sign. It said driving ahead would have led me to Kachihara. While turning right, I'd find myself in Fujioshi.
ようやくか。
Should've went to Kachihara, man. It was already past midnight, but actually earlier than I thought. A 30-minute drive from this point would lead me to Fujioshi, or rather Kami Fujioshi, the place that wasn't too popular among Yasumizu's people. Oh, we can't go to okay, so if we had the keys, we could go to Kami Fujioshi. That could be fun, dude. We could gather some important lore or something, but we're going to Yasumizu. We're already here.
お、家だ。
We passed the streaming limit. Mako, please don't show up and beat me with your cigarette or something. My time estimate was more or less right. After 30 minutes or so, I began seeing houses between hills and trees. I eventually left the forest and could see as well as anyone could in the middle of the night. It was already raining and I knew it'd only get worse. I had to do something before that happened. There was next to no city lights and not a single house I could see was lit up either. However, unlike Yasumizu, the destitute place where most of the houses had been built from wood, the houses were modern. The road was well paved too. I could see even some bus stops and vending machines, emphasizing that this was modern Japan.
宿があるとしても、この時間に突然素泊まりができるとは思えないな。
Oh, we're actually in Kami Fujiyoshi, not Yasumizu. Interesting. Some would think there was a way for me to at least get a roof over my head, but I knew that was just a city dweller's misconception. I mean, I don't know. I think it's normal for inns to be open late for late travelers, but maybe not here. Same went for the idea that rural folk were nice enough to let you stay if you just asked nicely. That was just pure delusion. I mean, going up to a random stranger's house and saying, "Hey, can I stay for the night? I'm traveling," is kind of weird. I wouldn't do that. In actuality, rural areas were subject to local legends and traditions, with many of the residents believing good, peaceful lives were only possible thanks to their protection. Yeah. Of course, that wasn't always wrong, but that was also the reason why many rural people were so cold to outsiders. It's called Hinamizawa. Hell, this was a village so behind the times it still had a settlement for the ostracized, which they discriminated against so badly. It's nice one Kami Fujiyoshi though. Maybe we can get some tech. This place was probably even more insular than your average rural village. They wouldn't take kindly to outsiders like me and would probably be wary the entire time I stayed here. I could only imagine how strongly they'd react if some brown-haired man suddenly drove in on a bike and... That is an aggressive police officer. He is not happy. Was I some sort of idiot? Like the city boy I was, I just went in there thinking it all just worked out. Well, I don't know if they have proper reason to fucking bring you to the police station. You're just driving, man. And now I caught the attention of a police officer. Well, I doubted he'd arrest me or anything, but the fact there was some weirdo who invaded the village in the middle of the night would spread among the people here in less than a day. Now I'd be treated like a criminal if I wanted to talk to anyone here. That's probably the new tech we get. Be subtle. Subtly infiltrate Kami Fujiyoshi. The officer looked middle-aged, but what stood out about him was the fact that he seemed like the most generic meathead old man from the countryside. It's a little rude. He told me to sit down here and wait until he came back. I could only imagine the chewing out I was in for. But maybe it's like a noise law or something. Like, motorcycles are kind of noisy, some of them, but like, why are we in trouble? Still, I was pretty sure passing Kami Fujiyoshi was one of the main conditions here. I could clearly remember. I had memories of this. Hisoka Mamiya and Yudai Hashimoto came here through the normal route, and they weren't considered a problem, because we went through the special route, and this is the normal route. Okay. I know we had some confusion, but I think I got my directions all sorted out here. They died on the first day of the feast, but that wasn't because they were outsiders. They just violated the feast's rules. They either hadn't cleansed themselves, sheltered all alone, or dreamed. My assumption was that before it all happened, they stayed at an inn in Kami Fujiyoshi. They'd only come to Yasumizu on that day for the sake of an article. Unfortunately for them, the mist came and the landslide happened, making it impossible for them to go back to Kami Fujiyoshi by car. Then everyone started sheltering and no one came to help them. Don't worry, I will save you. Then we'll have 3 more people in the feast, which helps balance the scales against the werewolves. It's pretty good. Yeah, even Takumi-san tried to cut me off because I was an outsider. Giving me a way to survive, however, improvise was probably a huge risk for Chami. I had to keep that in mind. Well, we'll properly shelter this time. There's no reason for us to go to the outhouse. Back to the journalists, though. They ended up abandoning the village plaza, clueless about what was happening. What had they done then? They'd obviously chosen to spend the night in the van. I had no idea how Hashimoto, she, and Mamiya-san fit together in there, but since they hadn't slept alone, they'd broken the shelter rule. I mean, it's a van. It's pretty big. It's like a TV van, like a reporter van, so it's like bigger than normal. But yeah, I was about to say they didn't lock it, but yeah, you can't have 2 people in one shelter. Now, I wasn't sure if the van was a valid source of shelter to begin with, even if locked. I don't really see why, but yeah. That's probably why Hashimoto's body was found with the van. And since Hisato Mamiya had probably roamed around at night, she broke in the dream rule. I had no idea why she'd gone outside, but it could have been something simple, such as nature calling or search for a better place to sleep. Of course, as a journalist, she might have smelled a scoop in this ominous village and gone out to gather info. Not to mention they couldn't have taken a bath in their situation, so they obviously hadn't cleansed themselves. And so she died at the hands of that thing. Now, what about what happened to me? I died once after leaving the outdoor toilet. Dying because I'd gone outside was understandable, but honestly I wasn't sure that toilet even counted as inside. I bet that it didn't. And of course I hadn't bathed or slept, so I broke all the rules. But we're a special exception. Because we have the looping powers. We're an anomaly. And yet I'd survived. What had made my situation different then? It was whether I'd been found by that thing or not. On seeing me, it recognized me as a rule breaker and it executed me. But when it hadn't found me, I survived despite breaking all the rules. That meant that the sheltering law was simply a method meant to keep the werewolf thing from finding you. Okay. So basically you just need to keep out of sight. The time I survived, it tried to force its way in, but failed. Nothing had happened to me because I was locked in, but if the lock was broken or something, I'd been found and killed easily. Basically, you could avoid the monster by just properly locking yourself in somewhere. Yeah. Meito was proof of that. She was a lost child who come from the hated Saranaga, but she survived all the way up to the end without succumbing to the corruption. She was just vibing the whole time, man. Leave Meito out of this. That meant the important thing there was to get a lockable residence in Yasumizu with a bath. Maybe you need a bath because the werewolf would smell you otherwise. Maybe. And that was exactly why arriving via the normal route was necessary. If I come from Saranaga again, most of the inhabitants would treat me with distrust and disgust, driving me away. It's actually smart. I didn't even think of that. We lose the Serenada debuff. We'll take it. But if I was a person who arrived through Kami Fujiyoshi for whatever reason, they'd be willing to accommodate. Meito was probably only given a place because she was young and because Rikato Umetsu had protected her. I couldn't expect similar treatment. I mean, we already saw the treatment, so yeah. Rikato Umetsu preemptively gave a house to Meito, to a small child like her. That made it seem like she knew the mist and the feast would come. I think more on that later though. It could be that she'd given a key right after the mist came. That is a little sussy actually. I didn't think of that either, but we don't know the exact details of when she got the house. And I'm pretty sure they said that they lived together. Or Chami said that, like early on. Anyway, if I could be like Meito and get a proper place I could stay in, I'd have the right to participate in the feast of the Yomi Purge. I'd be able to listen to the thoughts myself instead of relying on Chami and be able to contribute my own thoughts. That's the end goal, man. And by contribute, I mean we already know who the werewolves are, we just gotta play it right. I'd also learn much more about the feast. That meant a lot, considering that some people there, especially the elders, wouldn't want to talk about Yasumizu's problems to those outside the feast. A part of me wanted to avoid another tragedy, but a part of me that wanted me to find out what was behind this mystery was equally strong. We're already locked in. That monster and that thing allowed me to still be here. This looping phenomenon were the main mysteries here. Though I did have some questions about the monster. It hadn't found me when I locked myself in the toilet, it was probably just curious why it was locked. Couldn't a monster with a wolf head just track me by scent? That's what I said the baths are for. Why did it half-ass the job? Its failure to eliminate me only made the inhabitants more suspicious of me. Or you were in a toilet, bro. I feel like it's a strong sense of maybe a master's. There are no feast laws regarding outsiders. That was why it was best for us to just not be present. Looking at the current laws, those who didn't have a place to stay were outsiders, and they had to be removed because of that. This system worked fine for the most part, but then there was me, a proper breach. If that monster batted out the corruption, it was on the side of the great Lord Shinai. As such, it should have used some divine powers or whatever to address the problem. Also, it seemed to me like they had the power to unlock doors. Man, this was getting confusing. Last time the wolves were Yasunada, Oribe, and Tai Yamawati. I doubt they would change. Then it's not really time looping. It's almost reality jumping. Unless, like, somehow because they did a sign at the start of the game. Not this game, but like when the mists come. So maybe it is possible for it to change based on stuff that happens. But I'd be surprised if it changed. According to the legend, they had to be replaced by wolves who come back from the dead, but their story was completely different. Yeah, they were just people. That's why the wolf killings were like very normal killings. They said they were normal people who had wolves as their guardians. Which makes a lot of sense from what we've seen of the wolf deaths. That meant the thing couldn't have been Yasunada-kun or Tai-san. We knew this. This is the corruption thing. It was more like an agent of the same side as whatever granted them their power. I had no idea why they were granted that protection of the Guardians, but from what I could tell, Guardians were like fragments of divine power. And if you were on the same side as the one who granted those powers, couldn't you just use the unlocking power whenever you wanted? But there's still rules, so... Why would a supernatural being make such a careless mistake? Any assumptions made beyond this point would just be grasping at straws and bias my observations. I just stop here for now. Anyways, I think we'll stop here, guys. Thank you for watching this episode. We're going back to Yasumizu, this time with a plan. And let's see how it plays out. I'm interested. Lots of stuff. Try to save the outsiders. It would be kind of interesting if the wolves did change, but yeah, we'll have to see. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Later.